Imagine being only 5 years old, too young to drive, too young to stay home alone, but talented enough to stand in front of screaming crowds and completely steal the spotlight. Now imagine having a voice so powerful, so emotional, that grown adults stopped and said, "Wait, that's a child singing?" This is the unbelievable story of young Michael Jackson, the shy little boy from Gary who would grow up to become the king of pop. But before the fame, before the moonwalk, before the world knew his name, there was just a little boy with a dream, a microphone, and a talent nobody could ignore. It all started in a tiny house in Gary during the late 1950s. The Jackson family was large, 9 children living under one roof. Money was tight and life wasn't easy. Their father, Joe Jackson, worked long hours but believed his children could become stars. When Michael started singing, the room went silent. His voice was unbelievable. Even as a child, he sang with emotion far beyond his age. And once his father noticed that talent, there was no turning back. Soon, Michael joined his brother's music group. They became known as the Jackson 5. At only 5 or 6 years old, Michael became the lead singer. Most kids his age were nervous speaking in front of a classroom. But Michael, he was performing in clubs, talent shows, and local competitions with confidence most adults never achieve. And the crazy part? He wasn't just good, he was extraordinary. He danced with energy, he smiled with charm, and when he sang, audiences couldn't believe what they were hearing. People would stare at the stage thinking, how can someone so small have such a huge voice? But success didn't come easily. Behind the bright lights and applause was an intense schedule. The Jackson brothers practiced for hours every single day. Joe Jackson pushed his children very hard because he believed greatness required discipline. For young Michael, childhood was different from most kids. While others played outside after school, Michael spent countless hours rehearsing songs and dance routines. Sometimes he felt exhausted. Sometimes he wanted a normal childhood. But music was becoming his life. Without realizing it, young Michael was already preparing to become one of the greatest entertainers in history. There was something magical about young Michael. He had a rare ability to connect with people emotionally. When he smiled, audiences smiled. When he sang sad lyrics, people felt every word. And when he danced, it looked effortless. Even before becoming an adult, Michael understood how to entertain. He studied famous performers carefully. He practiced endlessly. He wanted every show to feel unforgettable. And that dedication separated him from everyone else. Because talent can open doors, but hard work is what keeps those doors open. The story of young Michael Jackson teaches us something powerful. Greatness doesn't appear overnight. Sometimes it begins in a small house, with a child nobody expects, working quietly on a dream the world cannot yet see. And in Michael's case, that dream became one of the greatest musical journeys in history.